What's up everyone, Sega Superstar here, and today I'll be showing you my game collection. My game collection consists of many different games from various consoles in the past, present and hopefully future. I'm just going to be going through a few of them in detail, not all of them in much detail. So yeah, let's begin. So my first game that I bought is Sonic R on the Sega Saturn. Now, this game is one of my favourite racing games, classic racing games, I should say, because it's just awesome. I mean, this game, I've always been a Sonic fan since I was growing up in my childhood, so this game has brought a lot of fun memories, and I wanted to get it back. So yeah, whoever hasn't played this should really play it because it's a decent racing game. It hasn't got many flaws, only a couple. The controls are a little bit tricky when you try and turn corners, but once you master it, it's absolutely fine. Apart from that, the graphics look pretty nice, the levels look stunning, and the music soundtrack is just awesome. So, check that one out for us. The next one is going to be quite one of my favourite survival horror classics. It's Project Zero 2 Wii Edition. Now, this isn't the best edition, considering it's not the best console version of it. It's sort of a watered down version of the original on the Xbox and PlayStation 2. So this isn't my favourite, but yeah, it's still an awesome game. It's still hard to get actually, and it does cost a bit of money. So I'd rather you guys should track that one down when you get time. I have the original on the PlayStation 1. Now this is probably one of my favourites out of the three. There's three of them in the series. This is probably my favourite. Explains the story from the beginning, obviously, and it's just one of my favourite survival horrors. It's up there with Resident Evil and Silent Hill. It's just probably better than Silent Hill in many ways, but that's just my opinion. So yeah, Project Zero 1. It's definitely an awesome. You should definitely check it out, guys. If you haven't played this, definitely check this out. It's a decent game. I have Project Zero 2, but when I bought this, being an idiot I am, I didn't pay much attention to the title. I recognised obviously the art and whatnot, but I realised this is the Japanese version. So yeah, they call it Fatal Frame out there in Japan and America. So it doesn't really bother me. It's quite a cool design, really. It's different from the other one, but yeah, the game itself is very awesome. It's just as good as number one, probably a little bit better in climactic wise, in the bosses and everything. Definitely pick this one up if you can. It's actually hard to get hold of as well. On eBay it's really easy, but in shops for some reason it's quite hard to get hold of. So next one. Okay, now Project Zero 3. This game is hard to get hold of. Now it's not the best one out the series, it's probably my least favourite, but it's still an awesome game. A bit more gimmicky than the other two, but the storyline is still awesome. The gameplay is still awesome. There's nothing really bad about the game. It's just a bit more cheesy, cliche a little bit. I do love the main character, Ray, and the main villain is definitely awesome as well. So yeah, and as you've noticed, I've gone on my way to get this game sealed. This is a sealed copy. And I think I paid around 45 for this. It's actually quite worth it. They go for a lot more on eBay now. So yeah, Project Zero 3. Awesome game. Okay, moving on to my Xbox games. Again, I have the Xbox version. Now, the reason I bought this one is because this is the director's cut, and you can only get this on the Xbox, as far as I know. This has a lot more levels, storyline. It tells you more in detail what happened in the storyline. It is just an awesome game. It's probably the best version in the series on the console. It is the best one to get. So if you want to know more about the series, more about the storyline, get the director's cut. It's much harder. It's much longer. It's much better overall. So if you want to get that one, try it out. Again, I have the Project Zero 1 on the Xbox simply because I'm just a fan, so I thought I'd get that as well. There wasn't a number 3 on Xbox simply because I don't know. I guess it wasn't popular enough. But yeah, this is a very underlooked series, which is a shame, and unfortunately there's no more made of these at the moment. I think there was a spin-off on the Game Boy Advance or something like that, or the DS, I don't know, called Spirit Camera, I don't know, something cheesy like that. But yeah, this is also a good game. Try that out. Okay, moving on to my more of a PlayStation games that I recently picked up is Sonic Mega Collection Plus. This is just, you can't say nothing about this game. It just has all the classic Sonic the Hedgehog games on there for you to play from the Game Gear and obviously, you know, Mega Drive, Master System, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, if you want to get back to the old roots Sonic the Hedgehog, get this. Now, this game I had a falling out with recently. It is a pain in the ass at times and is a hard platformer. Now, whoever's familiar with the Crash Bandicoot series on the PlayStation 1 and 2, and obviously another next-gen consoles and whatnot, it is a good platformer. I absolutely love this series. I've played them from 1 to Crash, you know, Wrath of Cortex in my hand here, and so on. I think this was the last one I actually played in the series, because I actually didn't like the direction they were going in. But yeah, this is actually a hard game at times, and it's very frustrating. If you're not careful, and you leave the game, you know, a certain way, it doesn't save your data. And unfortunately that happened to me, and I got up to the second boss, and it deleted all my data, so I got pretty pissed with that. Another classic game is Crazy Taxi on the PlayStation 2. This is also on the GameCube. Well, GameCube Dreamcast, I should say. This is an okay driving game. It's just sort of a little fun game to play around, you know. Name says it all, Crazy Taxi. You've got to drive people from destinations, places to places to keep the timer going and whatnot. It's actually quite fun, but I prefer number 2, simply because it's just much clearer in graphics and whatnot. But yeah, it's a good game. I'd love to play that game, you know. Good to get those memories flowing back. Now then, Dead Aim. Resident Evil Dead Aim. Now this game was slanted and slandered for its storyline and characters, and I don't blame the people who, you know, sort of took the piss out of this game. No, it's not the worst Resident Evil game, but it's not the best. It's, you know, it's below par, but it's definitely a dark Resident Evil game, and that, you know, it's a side story game. It's not a main story game. It's just sort of like Operation Raccoon City on the PlayStation 2. If anyone's played that, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's a side game, sort of filler, as they say. It's not a bad game. You know, it's simply not the worst, but it's not the best. So yeah, you can check it out if you want. Another classic I have is Resident Evil, the Steel Tin Edition. Now this game is just awesome. I mean, this was the first in the series to revolutionise the gameplay and the outlook on the entire Resident Evil, and how it acts and plays and everything. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed this game when it first came out. I played the hell out of it with my friend. You know, we had loads of fun with this game. The Mercenaries, unfortunately, isn't, you know, 2-player, because it is like the first time whatnot Mercenaries was available and that. And but yeah, I had fun, you know, playing it with my friend in the same room and that, just hanging out, playing it. It was a definitely challenging game. Okay, now a recent pickup, or when I say recent, I say not long ago, is Clock Tower 3. Now this game is definitely an interesting game. Now I never played this before, but when I recently started playing it, it definitely made me think about what it represented and what it had to offer. Now, this is an interesting game. You see, it's sort of like a cross between Devil May Cry and Resident Evil, maybe a bit of Silent Hill thrown in there. It's made by Capcom, and it's a 15-rated game. Now, this is definitely a weird game. It's sort of like Project Zero, the games I mentioned earlier. It's sort of like survival horror, ghost, paranormal sort of thing. It's definitely weird, where your sort of only weapon is like holy water and stuff like that. It is quite a weird game, but really enjoyable platformer. It is really good survival horror game. I've never played 1 or 2, but this is my first in the series I've played, and I've actually thoroughly enjoyed it actually up to now. I haven't completed it yet, but I think I'm on the last chapter to complete it. It is definitely a challenging game, And it has the few odd puzzles thrown in there, just like Resident Evil had and Silent Hill, and it is definitely enjoyable. So I do recommend playing this game. Okay, going on to my well, I've got one more game to do yet before I go on to the Xbox games, and that is Resident Evil Code Veronica X on the GameCube. Now, this little gem is sealed. Now, I've gone out my way to get the sealed version because, you know, I'm a collector and I want to get some items in really perfect condition. So, on eBay, these go for a lot of money, sealed Resident Evil games in general. So, I paid about $45.50 for this just to get this, and everyone it's such a popular franchise, you know, it's sealed, it's a classic game, everyone's after these sort of games, so it cost a lot of money, but in the end it's definitely worth it, to be honest with you. It's one of my favourite games anyway, the Resident Evil series, but to be honest with you, I love all the Resident Evil games, you can't go wrong with them. Of course, except for Dead Aim over there, that sucks. So yeah. Now moving on to my Xbox games, I have Dead Rising 2 off the record. Now, I recently purchased this because of two reasons. One, because my friend suggested that we get it back. He never played this version. I've played all these versions. I've played Dead Rising 2. I've played Chuck 1, you know, Chuck Green, I think that's his name. And yeah, he said, you know, I want to play some co-op with you on this. I was like, you know, it's not expensive. Why not? I love Dead Rising anyway. The franchise is an awesome game. Capcom did well nurturing this franchise. So yeah, I decided to get it back and whatnot. And yeah, this is definitely an awesome game to play co-op wise. A bit tedious on your own, but it's better as a co-op game, I'd say. If you love zombies and that and outbreaks, this would be one of the games to get. You know, rather than Resident Evil and that. As you can see, this guy here, he is the main character from 1, and now they've made him come back again on 2. There is 2 versions of Dead Rising 2. There's this one, and then there's a couple more. You know, they brought us different versions of that just to please the fans, and I'm glad they did, because this is probably my best version of Dead Rising 2. Hence the main character, which I prefer, and yeah, it's Dead Rising 2, so you can't really go wrong with that. Okay, moving on. Now, I've slandered this game series for a long time, ever since I was young. You know, ever since these come out on PlayStation 1, 2, I've called these games shit, this series shit, crap, boring, the graphics were shit, the storyline was shit, it was just bad game. But then I played Grand Theft Auto 5, and my views changed. This game is definitely really enjoyable, and I was shocked and surprised what Rockstar did with this newest in the series. I'm quite impressed, and I think they've gone in the right direction to improve the series. And for me to actually say this, then obviously they're doing the right thing. So yeah, this was at the time a very popular game, probably still is. These games last for a long time in gameplay. You can do so much on this. It's probably one of the biggest online world gaming up to date. So you know you can do so much in there. So yeah, Grand Theft Auto 5, good game, really decent game. Now, this was a recent pickup. Now, I've played this game before, and I've played it to death. Now, this is one of my favourite RPGs on the Xbox 360, and that is Lost Odyssey. Now, it is from the creators of Final Fantasy. Now, I'm not a huge Final Fantasy fan. I ain't. But I have played a few Final Fantasies, and they are okay. You know, they're not my sort of RPG, but they're still amazing in their own way. I still respect the Final Fantasy series. But this I respect a little bit more because the gameplay and the story and just everything is just a flawless game. I just love this game so much. I'm going to have to get some time to play this again and get into this again, because this is the reasons I got it back, because I had so much fun with it before. I had to get it back. So that's another game for me to play in the future. Now, next one is Resident Evil Revelations. Now, this is a very interesting game because they've actually taken their time to go back to the roots of Resident Evil and make it a bit more survival horror and less action orientated. what can I say? It's a really good game. You know, whoever hasn't bought this or heard about this, you should really give it a go. It's definitely brings back the creepiness that the Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 and Code Veronica had. You know, the storyline is a bit cliche a little bit, but it's still good in its own way. It has its classic cheesy lines that, you know, Barry used to give us when he was in the Resident Evil 1 and whatnot. As you can see, I took it to MCM last year, and I got it signed by the character Raymond. So, who played, well, the voiceover, David Vincent, he did the voiceover of Raymond. So, yeah, you know, I'm very glad I got it signed. It's definitely a decent Resident Evil game. Definitely in the right direction of where Resident Evil should be today. Okay, moving on. I have Resident Evil 5, the Gold Edition. Now, this is also more action-based rather than survival horror-based, but it is still a decent game. I still love it. Because I'm such a hardcore fan, I've stuck with this series just to give them the benefit of the doubt, you know. This is definitely a decent co-op game. Both main story and mercenaries. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I still do. I have played it recently. Yeah. Just another great legendary number in the series. Okay. Next one's another Resident Evil game. It's Resident Evil 6, and I've got the special edition, and also that I have got it signed by the voiceover of Chris, Jake, and Ada Wong. As you can see, it's been signed everywhere. So I've got this signed by 3 celebrities who did the voice acting in this game. I'm very proud to have that, and this is definitely a collector's piece now. I've cherished this, and I will not let this go ever. This is not for sale. I never will sell it, and this is part of Resident Evil history. So yeah, I'm very lucky to get signatures on that. Okay, now, this is actually my newest recent purchase, Dragon Ball Z Battle of Z. Now, I've got mixed reactions about this game. Now, I love the Dragon Ball series. I'm a huge fan. I've watched every single saga, movie, whatever you call it. I've read the manga. You name it, I've done it. Played every game. Now, unfortunately, this game lacks a little bit in depth. I mean, the characters... I'd say the creators have gotten really lazy. Either they've gone lazy or they're just the new creators have done something different. I don't know what they've done. But, you know, they have got less characters on here. They've got, you know, there's no transformations in mid-battle or in cutscenes or anything, you know. There's a lot of the same characters in the roster. The targeting system's, you know, pretty bad at times when you're trying to fight enemies, and that, especially if there's a group of them, you're pretty much fucked then, really. They're going to turn you around and fuck you right up the arse. The artwork is awesome. I love the artwork, but a few people stated that people are, laziness. Frieza and Goku are the same size, if not Frieza a little bit bigger. I think this is just transferred images and just stuck next to each other, so that's sort of lazy. But other than that, it's got great impact. The actual control system is absolutely fine. It's quite easy to pick up. It's got a bit of RPG element to it where you can level up your characters and other characters that help you out. But yeah, it's actually a great game. It is a good game, but it's a step back in my opinion. So yeah. Right. Let's take these down because I've got a lot more to show you, and I haven't got enough room to put all these here. So yeah. Okay, I'm going to show you my retro, even more retro side of gaming now. Okay, so I'm going to show you my NES collection of games. Now this is quite awesome. Okay, my first one is RoboCop. Now, I have also a mixed reaction over the film, in another sort of opinion and story. The remake, I've got mixed reactions of it, but as far as this game is concerned, and I'm concerned, this is an awesome game and a great side-scrolling platformer. So, definitely an awesome game. Definitely brings back a lot of memories from the movies. I've got a random weird game that I didn't really enjoy too much. Defender of the Crown. It's quite a weird sort of King Arthur time game. It sort of sucked if you ask me. So put that over there. Now another classic is Popeye. This game is absolutely awesome. It was funny as hell, and I enjoyed it. Sort of like reminds me of the first Donkey Kong and Mario game. It's sort of really funny. Yeah, Popeye. Some boxing game I didn't play much of. I didn't really enjoy it. It was pretty shit actually. So yeah, It's called Punch Out. It's not really great. At one point I destroyed my controller over it because it was that shit. Another classic game is Double Dragon 2. Now this is definitely one of my favourite games on the NES. It's definitely a great beat 'em up game. It's up there with Streets of Rage, but obviously it's not as good as Streets of Rage. So yeah, Double Dragon 2. Awesome game. Now speaking of Donkey Kong, this game is one of my favourite classics on the NES. You can't go wrong with Donkey Kong. He is one of my probably favourite... Well, he isn't my favourite, but he's definitely a good classic Nintendo character. And it's actually quite cool to see the early stages of Mario and Donkey Kong fighting. So yeah. Okay, now we come to the masters of classics and history. Mario Brothers 1 and Duck Hunt. Now, I'm very proud to own Mario 1 on the NES, since it's the first Mario to come out and the first console to come out on. So yeah. A special part of history, I'd say. Mario Brothers 2. This is definitely a huge improvement to number 1. Even though it's on the same console, the graphics were horrendously, dramatically improved. Mario's sort of only weapon was to throw vegetables at the enemies, which was definitely a weird twist of things. So yeah, Mario Brothers 2. And here we have a slightly less graphical, but yet vastly improved Mario Brothers 3. Now this game beat 1 and 2 hands down because it had so much on there to do, and the difficulty was so much harder. It is an insane hard game. But I love it to pieces, and it is it used to be one of my played games when I was a child, and it's, you know, I still will probably play it until I die. A very interesting, probably low opinionated game is Low G Man. Now this is a very good platforming shooting game. It sort of reminds me of the early stages of Mega Man, probably. Sort of very similar, where he has a gun and whatnot at his arm and he shoots and that, and he has different powers. It is definitely sort of like a Mega Man game. Another classic used to play a lot is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. As you can see here, it's called Hero. So anyway, this game was one of my most played games as well. It is definitely an awesome but very hard platform game, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. You only get one chance to survive, and if you get hit, that's it. Over. Game over. Another favourite game I used to love playing to death is DuckTales. And this was made by Capcom. And this is definitely one of my favourite platforming games also. Next is Gremlins 2. Now, this is definitely also a really awesome platforming game. It definitely appealed to me a lot, and it is definitely an awesome game. I mean, I can't say much about it now. I don't remember much of it, to be honest with you. I played it when I was like 7, so probably even 6 maybe. But yeah, this is definitely an awesome game, and you can't go wrong with it at all. Another interesting game is Bionic Commando. Now this game I think was reinvented on the Xbox 360, I think, or the Xbox, and it didn't do too well. But as far as I know, this game is absolutely amazing and brilliant, and I think you can get it on the Virtual Console now, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah. You can probably get a majority on these on the Virtual Console and Nintendo Wii and Wii U. Now, a very old memorable game is Captain Planet. Now, I used to watch this when I was a kid on TV, and it is absolutely funny and interesting, and I enjoyed it a lot. So yeah, Captain Planet. Okay, moving on. Oh yeah, I just want to show you quickly. I have the old Nintendo cases for my NES games, so I just wanted to show you quickly that. It's just a bit of awesome history there. Okay, my next game is just a random cartridge of a Japanese Sonic the Hedgehog game. I've got this from Spain. I just picked it up. You know, I'm a big Sonic the Hedgehog fan, so I thought, why not? Just pick it up. Another amazing game is Sonic Adventure 2, 10th Anniversary Box Edition. Now, I have done a review on this before, I believe. If you want to check that out on my channel, that was a while ago, but I did do a review, if I remember rightly. And yeah, Sonic Adventure 2 in general is just an amazing game. It's a beastly platformer. You know, it does so much. There's so much replay value. Can't say with the word replay. And it was obviously the debut of Shadow the Hedgehog. So if you haven't checked this out, guys, which probably majority of you have, play the damn game. Okay, going back to Sonic Adventure 2 again, I have the Dreamcast single one, a bit more thinner. That is actually the Japanese version, I believe. This is the English version I've got, and it is sealed. I managed to get this baby sealed, and I'm very happy I did. It cost me a pretty penny, but as a Sonic collector, I put the extra penny towards it, and I got the sealed edition, so I'm very happy with that. Now, another rare game in my hand here is Sonic Shuffle on the Dreamcast. Now, this game was definitely underrated, and me and my friend had so much fun on this game. We actually stayed up to 3 o'clock in the morning when we were younger. You know, on the weekend when we used to go to school, we used to play the fucking hell out of this game, and this game was just so funny and so entertaining in so many levels. I had so much fun with it, he had so much fun with it. It's just an awesome game, and to top it off, I got this sealed as well. So I'm very happy with that. Okay, now this is what I picked up in Spain. Now, there was sort of like a how can I explain it? An antiques house place with just different. It's like an indoor boot sale, you could say, indoor marketplace. And this guy had this sort of cabinet of hundreds of Japanese games, and I just was so excited. I just started rummaging through them, and I could only afford a couple of these, but the ones I recognised was this one here, the Japanese version of House of the Dead one. I've played this is on the Sega Saturn, obviously. I've played this on the English Sega Saturn version, and I absolutely loved the hell out of this game. This is one of my best shooters, arcade shooters. So yeah, I picked that up. And another Japanese game I picked up was Tenchi Muyo on a Sega Saturn. I've never played this game before. I have no idea what it's like, but from what I've read through the manual on that, it's like an RPG game. So yeah, I picked this up. I'm a big, huge anime fan of Tenchi. So yeah, I had to pick this up. So it was really an awesome addition. I actually got this from eBay. This is Sonic CD on a Mega CD. This is one of my favourite Sonic games. A little bit challenging on some levels, getting everything completed, but other than that, a very classic and highly valued game. And it's in highly good condition. Now, now this game, I got this from the same marketplace. Now, I saw this and I couldn't believe it. I just fell in love with it. Now, I have looked for this on eBay and I cannot find it on eBay whatsoever. Now, I can't find out what console it's for or what not. I may be a noob, you can call me a noob, but I have no idea what console it's on. I've looked at the cartridge inside and it just says Bandai all over it, so I'm guessing there was a Bandai console out in a day. So yeah, this game is obviously a fighting game, a very small basic fighting game and everything, as far as I can tell. I've read through the manual and everything. Yeah, this game cost me about €15, I believe, so not too much. But I have not seen this on eBay, like you said. If anyone has seen this on eBay or knows any value-wise of this, let me know. This is obviously not for sale. I'm going to keep this. I'm a huge Dragon Ball Z fan, as you know, as I've told you on Dragon Ball Z Battle of Z. So yeah, that is a very interesting and unique game I picked up. Moving on to another Japanese game. This is Sonic Drift on the Game Gear. And this is in okay condition. It's got a slight wear there and everything, but It is definitely an awesome game. One of my favourite racing games, but obviously not as favourite as Sonic R. Picked up a few other Game Gear games, English versions of Sonic Chaos. Definitely a good platformer game. Hard as fuck, but that's if you shit like me at platformers. And I have Sonic Drift, the English version, on the Game Gear. As you can tell, they look quite different together. One's much smaller than the other, sort of half the size. This one isn't in too great condition, but at least I've got everything with it. So, yeah. Okay, just going a few more couple of games now. I have Terminator 2 on the Master System. I haven't actually played this game before, so I can't tell you what it's like. But I'm sure it's an awesome game, you know, just like the movie. So yeah. I have just got the basic version of Sonic the Hedgehog 1 on the Mega Drive. You know, you can't go wrong. Who doesn't love the 16-bit era? Because I love it. This is obviously the first Sonic the Hedgehog ever to be made, and it is probably, you know, flawless. It's just an awesome game. It's the first Sonic the Hedgehog, for Christ's sake. You can't go wrong with it. It's what made Sonic the Hedgehog. I have the Master System version of it as well. Just thought I'd pick that up. And last but not least, I have Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on the Mega Drive. So yeah, that is about it for my game collection. Hope you liked it. Hope you enjoyed looking through every single one like I just did and reliving memories. That's about it. Thank you for watching, and leave comments, subscribe, thumbs up, do whatever you want, and I'll catch you guys later.